We're back. It's 3 o'clock. We're in the vineyard room, and guys, we've changed the game in the vineyard room. See how paint, I've got a lot of paint on my hands. The vineyard room has always been designed as like the most gorgeous room. It sets up in the vineyards. It's tucked right in. We actually had to pull up some of the vines just to put the building here. It overlooks the valley. It's always been one of the most spectacular rooms ever, and we just made it over the top. So can I show you for the first time ever in public? We're going to show you what we did. This past summer, it's been the project. We built the most unbelievable chandelier the world has ever seen. And it hangs in the vineyard room. It engulfs the entire room, guys. Check it out, right? Mary Wayne sees it. What's happening, Mary Wayne? Look at this. How cool, right? Let me block all the way out. I can't even get the whole thing in the picture. It engulfs the room, but you got to check it out. It's a weeping cherry tree, just like all the others. It's kind of gold leaf. It is the most beautiful thing ever. We've just been staring at it constantly. And if you didn't join us this past Sunday for our Easter service, we're going to have the video. Emelina, right? Emelina's making the video, and we're going to put it out. We're going to put it on YouTube. That way, if you want to watch it again or share it with friends, you can show the world. It was so powerful, so much fun. Oh my gosh, what a great morning! I love you, Mary Wayne. It was so good to see you guys there. So today's talk, I hope you love this. It's a fun one. I'm going to say it's hard hitting. I've worked hard on it. It's beautiful, right? I know, great chandelier. Wait till you all see it. So here we go. You ready? The difference between who we are and who we want to become is simply what we do. It's that simple, isn't it? You can turn yourself into anything you want. We can change any aspect of our lives for the better or the worse, and the choice is ours. 100%, right? Every day. We're going to talk about things that get passed down from generation to generation to generation. This is powerful stuff because it's impacting everyone out there. I have a chapter in my book. It's called, how our ancestors are imposing on us. And it's powerful stuff. A whole chapter of the book about it. And it's things like physical things, like your height, your ancestors kind of determined your height, your eye color, facial features, your body type, it all gets passed down from generation to generation, right? But it's also things like mental things, like your demeanor, your temperament, your antics, personality traits. A lot of times if you meet one brother and you meet the other brother, they have very similar voice inflections and the way they talk, they communicate very similar, right? Paula, I love you, Paula. Hope you're doing good. Oh my gosh, I love the hearts. Good to see you guys. I hope you're all wearing snorkels today. Oh my God, it's raining, right? It's crazy. I told you I rode a boat to work, There's this thing called generational bondage. It's the bad stuff that gets passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's the stuff that our grandparents passed on to our parents, and that they are by default passing it on to us. It just kind of naturally flows downhill, right? You with me on this? And a lot of people grow up in a dysfunctional family. I'm talking about there's dads out there that never talk to their children. There's moms out there that are depressed, they're mentally ill. There's dads out there in the same state, And, this causes generational damage, this stuff that get passed down. People come out of their family situation, they're raised by their mom and their dad, right? And they come out of their family situation, then they meet someone, and then they start their own family, and everything that they were in their old family, they bring in and start a new family with, right? And if you were to ask them, are you okay? They would go, yeah, of course I'm okay. I'm normal. I'm like everyone else in my family, right? You with me on this? People think they're okay, but meanwhile, they may have these silent sicknesses going on. That there's these little seeds that are sitting inside of them, and one day they're going to start to sprout out, but it's not the good stuff. It's the bad stuff that's kind of lurking underneath the surface. We have the ability to change this. Remember, the difference between who we are and who we want to become is what we do. I love that. Alexis, hello. I love it. We can stop generational curses. We can stop them dead in our tracks. And it can end with you and it can end with me. So that way our children and our great-grandchildren, they'll feel the blessings of it. They won't need to live with it. There's so many generational curses that are they're holding people back in this world. I'm talking about things like anger, substance abuse, sexism, chauvinism, physical abuse, racism, pride, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, materialism, lying to people, disrespect, Swearing, gossip, unforgiveness, greed, conditional love, criticism. I can go on and on and on. Andrew Neff, I love you, dude. What's happening, man? Good to see you, man. You know, I had about 6 years of my life in a pretty dysfunctional family. It would last about 6 years. And the two main problems was anger and disrespect. So guess what I got to deal with in my life? Those two things. The unfair things that were silently being passed on from generation to generation in my life was anger and disrespect. You know the saying, monkey see, monkey do? It applies. So many people, we complain about our parents, but then grow up to be just like them. We always get our focus, good or bad. You think someone that was abused, that's the last person that would ever abuse someone. Not true. A lot of times it becomes their default setting because that's what they know. Arlene, I love you, Arlene. Good to see you. Man, Brian, what's happening? Good to see you. You know, my dad, I remember my dad, he'd walk out. He would just leave. So then, go back about 2 weeks from now. I'm in the car with my kids. They're fighting in the back seat. Tiff's sitting over here. Guess what Randy does? I pull off the road and I get out and I start walking. And I thought, oh my gosh, you just did it. You just pulled the generational challenge. It impacted you. Because as I'm walking, I'm thinking, oh my God, it just touched your life. So how can we stop the negativity of legacy? How can we not these negative things? I love that. Gerald, good to see you, man. I love it. So how do we do it? How do you break the chain? Well, the first thing you do is you recognize it. Just like I am right here, right now in front of you all, I'm recognizing the problem. I say, yep, my name is Randy. I'm guilty of this. I'm going to face it, and I'm going to take full responsibility for it. That's the second step. Take full responsibility. And in that process, you forgive whoever hurt you. Complete forgiveness. Remember, whoever handed you the baggage, someone handed them the baggage. Because they wouldn't have it if no one gave it to them. So you got to forgive them. You know, I got to tell you, I love my dad. Holy cow. I mean, the life he lived when he was a child, he was the most unwanted person. He was everybody's inconvenience. He was abused, he was beat up, and he's doing pretty good. He's doing so good. So good. For what life gave him, he's doing really good. Then give your generational curse to God. See, that's the answer. You go, I can't deal with it. So you just give it to God and God will fix it, okay? He takes care of it all. As we do this, something will happen within us. We're going to learn that we're going to have to give up our inner vows. This is a strange conversation, but we have to give up our inner vows, our inner commitments. This is what I'm getting at. You're mistreated and you say, no one's going to hurt me again. We make that vow to ourselves. And we do this because we're hurt. Denise, you're with me on this, right? We do it because we're hurt. The problem this causes, though, is these inner vows that we make, it makes us unteachable. Completely hard-headed around that topic. No one can change your mind because I made a commitment. I made a vow to myself that no one's going to hurt me. Makes sense, right? It makes us actually crazy around our inner vows. Because we're crazy in that area of life because I'm committed to it and nothing will stop me no matter what. And we're crazy about it. We become irrational in that area of our life. I mean, here's Randy. If I get frustrated, I can get angry, and then I become irrational, and you can't even talk to me. I'm a crazy person when it comes to that area. And I admit it. I look in the mirror and go, you're a crazy person. You got to keep working on this, man. You may have grown up in a dirty, messy house, and you made a vow to yourself that I will never live in a messy house. It'll always be clean. And then your husband leaves his socks lay on the floor one day and you lose it on him. You're so angry. It's because you're irrational about the vow that you've made to live in a clean house and it's being taken out on your husband. Not a good thing, is it? He's messing up your vow. Rather than creating that inner vow, choose forgiveness. Choose to forgive the person that imposed the negative vow on you. Just choose to forgive. Why do that? Why take it out on your loved ones around you? This is how you can undo the insanity around the vows, around those internal commitments. Just think this. Everyone's doing the best they can with what they got right now in life. When we think like that, we're out of contempt, and we will assume the best. And when we assume the best, you get the best. It's that simple. You know, anger and bitterness, it's emotional torture. It tears apart. Unforgiveness, There's a saying, it goes, it destroys the vessel that it's stored in much more than anything you could possibly spit it on. It's so true, isn't it? The key is this. Anyone that has ever hurt you, you got to find a way to love and bless them. You see, how can you help them? How can I help them in their life? Because when you can do that, it no longer has anything connection. There's no more chains binding you together throughout time. It's not just forgiving them, but actively blessing them. How can I make their life better? You see, we know people from what they say and do to us, but there's a whole world of things going on that was said and done to them that we don't know. And it's impacting them. And the key is, if someone hurt me, how can I bless them? That's the key. Serving others, it is blessing them. Doing all this, living like this, it brings healing from your head right to your heart. I love y'all. I hope it added value to your life. Arlene, thanks for saying that. Well said. Thank you. This is like, oh my gosh. Guys, y'all know the words anyone ever says, it speaks to the condition of the speaker's heart. My name is Randy. I want to get better every day. I love y'all. Thanks for being in my life. See you soon, guys. Bye, y'all.